Hey, what's going on, family? How's everybody doing? It's me, baby girl Slaughter, back to do another reading. Ernie, go over and lay down. He's been scratching. I got to give him a bath today. As a matter of fact, when I get off the video, I'm going to bathe my dogs. I don't know. He's got some kind of skin thing going on where he's still after months and months of stuff. But anyway, I just want to come on here really quick. Let's get into the reading. I'm not going to chit chat too much. I'm really going to try to stay on point. Before we do, I did a screenshot of a book that I received in day before yesterday. It was on Sunday. Pleiades, the ones yet to arrive. Another installment from Nos Scaphandrum, Claudio Nocelli. Someone commented on my page, great fictional reading. Hey, if that's what you think, go right ahead. Not here to argue with anybody or disprove anything. I'm just going to simply say you need to do your research. There is more to this matrix than what is being told. Also, real quick, I think I shared this over on my craft page a while ago. It's called Wrapped in Crochet. Excellent, excellent crochet shawls, wraps, and scarves. And I want to show you this one scarf that I think I'm going to be working on here. I started doing I'm doing blankets right now for my family members. And so I still have 5 blankets left to go, but I wanted to show you this incredible, beautiful shawl. I think I'm going to do every shawl in this book, but look at this one. Isn't this pretty? Look. So we've got these beautiful, stitches at the bottom. I think I'm going to do that one. So I think I'm going to start on that soon. So, yeah, I just wanted to shout this author out. This is Christine Amdahl. So she's beautiful, beautiful pattern. So if you guys and gals, if you have crafts and you crochet, then hey, I would highly recommend you check out her YouTube channel. Shout out to Christine. Now, let's get into the reading. A couple of days ago, I did Guy Anderson's Cabbage Patch, Rise of the Clones, Cabbage Patch Kids, and I think I did chapter 24, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. What did I do with it? Yeah. Here it is. I read this a couple days ago. I'm not going to read this today. Not right now in this video anyway. When I come back, I am going to do Cabbage Patch Kids chapter 6, chapter 5. Hey, Auntie. Chapter 5 was over baby farming. That was a difficult video to listen to. I'm going to tell you. That was a tearjerker. And, after I got off that live stream, I was like, whoa, I got to take a break from that one. That was a lot of information. So if you have time, please go over there and look at that video. I think it's like right under an hour. So without any further ado, I wanted to share you again the book that I got. This one, we're going to deep dive into that. I shared you the crochet book. Now I want to pick up on some text that most people have never read before. And this is called Murder of Reality, Hidden Symbolism of the Dragon. This book can be somewhat difficult to find. I know that right now, I think it's like $120 online, if I'm not mistaken. You might be able to find it. And I apologize. I did not turn off my notifications on my phone. So you might hear my phone dinging in the background. Let's get into chapter 22. It's called The Adair Lamb and the Key Holder. And so basically what I'm doing is I'm laying the foundation for these entities that love us so much, the ones at the top of the food chain, the reptilians, right? And if you've been following me for a matter of months, some people say, oh, the reptilians don't exist. It's just a metaphor, blah, blah, blah. No, there's proof. And I know people have actually seen them. Have I seen a reptilian in person before? No, but I saw something other than a reptilian. I'm just going to tell you that. A gray alien, if that's what you want to call it. That clammy gray skin is what I witnessed, okay? So, the reason why I'm talking about these entities is because everyone needs to become well-versed in this stuff, okay? And so if you follow me for a number of months or weeks or whatever, you know that when I speak about reptilians, you know that there are at least 9 classes or 9 different entities of reptilians within the family, right? And they are considered to be one complete being closest to the God mind because they both encompass male and female. Whereas we will always be looked down upon because we are separated, right? Male and female. We come together and copulate as one to procreate and have offspring, whereas a reptilian doesn't have to do that. So they're always going to look down on us for a number of reasons. Okay. I don't know why I get video. I don't know why I get calls in the middle of videos. It's crazy. I apologize about that. So let's get into the reading. All right. Chapter 22. In the Semitic family of words, Adir describes March, the lambing season, and is used within contemporary Arabic. Celebration of Adir is equated with the month of sacrifice. Adir is a mnemonic of the flock, Hebrew Adir, substituted as a sacrifice of Adam, a symbol of Aries or Mars. Okay, and that's my so-called sign of when I was born into this avatar body. I am the first sign in the zodiac house, Aries. Okay. A deer in the African language accords with the root ada or goat. Early Mesopotamian calendars record the spring as the beginning of the new year. Symmetrical to the offertory and rebirth. Festivities allocated to a deer denote the celebration of the Purim, a Hebrew word interpreted as the drawing or lots. In written Semitic, the Purim plays on poor or fruitful from prior, from fruit, a derivation of the Akkadian noun pior or serpent. The Akkadian noun pior describes the modern Hebrew adjective pir or Latin paria, to appear. Realization of the snake is through the month, contrasted with the votive symbolizes as a fruit. Okay, and I'm going to show you a picture of Queen Artemis, Ephesus, Asia Minor, the daughter of Zeus and sister to Apollo. A hunter, Artemis is signified with the egg relative to the goddess Isis, okay? Carved with the lion and winged goat, mythological to the chimera. She carries the zodiac animals on her bottom. Her dress represents a fishtail and glass slipper. The foot are a symbol of Pisces. Now it's Queen Artemis, okay? So I'm going to show you this, sister to. This is one of the reptilians, all right? Symbology and the meaning behind it, okay? And it says that she is the sister to Apollo, all right? And if you know, Apollo would be the statue in as the Statue of Liberty, and many have said that it is a female. What do you call it? A female, a melanated woman, quote unquote, a black woman. That she was once copper and her skin was bronze. Blah 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 blah. I'm simply going to say the research I've done. I've seen both, but from what I'm understanding from the text that I've been reading, that's actually a male figure, and it gives homage to those entities that were long ago, the ones I'm reading about now. All right. So next up, it says the celebratory god is shown as restoring the flock or chosen people from the fire during Purim. In the Hellenistic languages, for example, the Hebrew word Purim is contrasted with pyre or fire, conceptually pur, the fruit or firstborn. Enactment of the Peru details the ordination of the land or substitute and the death of innocence. Hang on for 1 second. 1 second, you guys. I apologize about this. 1 second. Somebody reaching out to me, and I apologize. My apologies. Okay, let me see if I can get this back. Okay. Sorry. I had to answer that. All right, so now let me explain this to you because I find this interesting. All right. So now, Pari designates pure or Hebrew a lot correlated with the fruit of the womb, and it says cryptically the Semitic Hellenistic wordplay connotes a veil or veiled or magi or a lot symmetrical to the goat, demonstrated in the Greek and Latin languages. For example, in English, the word sorcery is from the immediate Greek noun soros or lizard. And soros is spelled S-A-U-R-O-S. All right. And sorrel, which is goat, derivations of the Semitic noun seir, a red goat, or Greek siren, S-A-R-A-N, S-I-R-A-N. Okay. And then it says, formerly seir goat categorizes the angelic serum, a goat, demon, or seraph in relation to the seer or sorcery or siri. You see where we get the origin of these words? Most people don't even know that. All right. So seraph or Siri or seer are registered in Hebrew with the identical pun asp, ef, or ophir, or fawn, or of sorcery. The allomorphic seir, seir, which is goat, is branched in the Latin with the root sors, a lot, and sol, the sun, denoting Purim, Purim. Within Judaism, the feast of Purim celebrates duplicity and reconnaissance with the deception collaborative of the lamb and the scapegoat. Did you get that? And it's called Sir Lizalel, okay, observed in Israel during the 6th or civil calendar month of Adar. The Purim originally commemorated the spring festival. And I know this author says in here, Pierre Sabak, he says Israel, but I'm going to tell you that that's always going to be Palestine. All right. I know what they did based on the Balfour Declaration, how we got into the war, blah, 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 blah. You guys, if you know, you know, you've done your research, you understand that. That's always going to be Palestine to me. But I'm telling you, all around the world, the symbology of these reptilian gods are right in our faces. That's why I'm reading you this stuff, okay? So then it says, that's a festival that they commemorate in the spring, all right? Theologically, the feast enacted the sacrificial death of the substitute, the firstborn, stylized as the Passover lamb. Enactment of Passover celebrated the redemption of the innocent, theoretical to spreading of the lamb's blood, congruous with the angel of death. Okay. In theory, the month of Adar is cognate with the materialization of the angelic forms evident in the Arabic vocabulary hadir or hadir, a present. Hadir describes the intransitive verb dar, to term in relation to Egyptian web dar, to injure or to harm. Both etymologies are symmetrical in Syrian with the equivalent word dar, D-A-U-R, and its transitive form dawar, D-A-U-W-A-R, to turn. The etymon dar and dur, D-A-R and D-A-U-R, to turn, originates from the Syrian stem du, or daylight, or light, rendered in Latin as the noun dies in English, or day. Okay. The movement, literally the turning of the day, is equivalent to heaven, visualized as a mansion of God, consonant with death. In Arabic, therefore, the verb dar, D-A-R, which in parentheses it says to turn, is employed as a homonym denoting the royal house of heaven. Usage of dar in Egyptian Arabic or house further points to and congregates in the hieroglyphic spelling of the word pharaoh. Transliteration of paro, which is English, or pharaoh, a word rendered by the Egyptologists as a great house, is dubious. The obvious spelling of paro, P-A-R-O, word by D-A-R-O, found in the Greek version of the name Darius. Okay. Etymologists, Egyptologists are aware of the etynym dar, D-A-R, as they use the noun to translate the goddess name Hathor, rendered as Horus mansion. The Greek transliteration Hathor is cooperation or corruption from the original compound kar dar or har dar, used in the modern Arabic to signify a presence, hadar, denoting the astrological mansion of Horus. Okay. And here's a picture. Oh, when the moon was overhead, came two lovers literally wed. I am half skin of shadows, said the lady of Charlotte. Okay. And this is what this says under the picture. And of course, it has a depiction of a light-skinned lady here. Okay. You know, I don't say white. I don't do the crayon colors. I know what that means in maritime admiralty law, what these crayon colors mean and what this language, how they have, I'm telling you, the majority of people are under a spell and they have no idea that they're under a spell. And to break free from the spell is the first step of breaking free from it is knowing that everything you've been taught is a lie. It's subjected, and you really got to go research stuff. All right. And that's my point. So let's continue to read. The switch of paro with daro is evidenced additionally with the root word of Adir, indicated the month of March, represented as Aries, the ram, the symbolic of the Hakos. Okay. Changes of the initial spelling daro align with the month of Adir. Okay. And Adir is spelled Adar. Okay. And it says a leap year, intercalary month, and is consistent with the festival's veneration of the multiplicity. Now, I know I've talked about this before, and I may need to pull something up on my laptop and go over it with you guys, but when you look at the Ethiopian calendar versus the Gregorian calendar, if you look at that, the timeline, it actually tracks us at 2018 right now. We're not in 2025. I'm just going to tell you that. And actually, if you look at the Ethiopian calendar and you look at how everything has been changed and inverted, they actually added 1,000 years onto the calendar. So what I'm telling you is it's not actually 2025. It's anywhere from 1017 to 1025, give or take 7 years. Okay. We know that they added 1,000 years. I mean, if you do your research, you'll see that. So it's really not 2025. I know most people are going to look at me like, what? You really got to just go do your research. So I find it fascinating that majority of people are they're still hoodwinked. And I mean, we're coming up on quote unquote these holy days, right? You know, I don't celebrate that mess. Okay. And so I know next month is going to be in a couple weeks. Well, a couple weeks, this actual weekend. See how they do that weekend? I have to break down some words and their meanings and what they actually represent when we say them. But you're speaking things into existence. So you're keeping yourself translated into this spell, this curse that they've got on us with the English language. It's brilliant, quite brilliant when you understand what they've done. I have to give them shouts out because these guys, I mean, these people, these Zios and these reptilians and the pyramid that I showed you guys a couple of weeks ago, it's amazing how much time they've got invested. They got so much skin in the game, y'all. They can't stop what they're doing now. They can't because they've come full circle. They've destroyed the last civilization, just like they did the reset when the fall of Tartary, the Republic of Tartary. I mean, you know how we used to say the Pledge of Allegiance, our Pledge of Allegiance to which we stand, one nation, and they got blah, 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 whatever. You know, when it comes to for the Republic for which we stand, okay, well, that's the Republic of Tartary. So I'm just telling you, most people are walking around here thinking they're in a democracy. It's not a democratic state. And it's not a two-party system. They got you thinking it's a Democrat, Republican, the Libertarian, all these different. There's not. We've always just been one. But there's something controlling everything, an unseen hand. So not going to get off task, but I'm not going to get on a rant. I'm just saying, I find it fascinating. And you got to give these bastards shout outs because they've tricked the entire world. They've tricked everybody to think that they're actually, that we're actually in 2025 and we're getting ready to go through Halloween. All right. Cause I don't celebrate the holidays. Halloween, I think is Friday. Is it not trick or treating? It's Friday. And then, you got the holy day of Thanksgiving, right? I mean, there's nothing thankful about Thanksgiving. I care not to even talk about that, you know, nothing great about them coming over here slaughtering millions of melanated people, millions of melanated American Indians, you know, and then they want to come up with this fake ass holiday. It just blows my mind that people are still stuck on stupid. Don't even get me started on Christmas because Christ, oh my God. Let's just say Christmas is not that day. Christ was not born on that day. If you understand the language of the sun, and let's just even take it one step further. Let's just say Kalki Avatar was actually here, which we know that there were multiple Kalki Avatars, right? We know that there were multiple entities that walked among us in this realm. Christmas was not the death, burial, and resurrection. We're talking about the sun. We're talking about the shortest day. As far as the solstice, I'm just saying, when you know, you know. And so it's like, on the holidays, I kind of like tend to like pull back and not say too much because I see everybody posting stuff in front of Christmas trees. And I mean, I was like that too. I really was. I used to be that way. If you go back and you look at my other Facebook, Niecy Slaughter, you'll see where I posted, I had like 4 trees in the house. I was just all in, but I mean, that's when I was fully just in the system and under the spell. I broke free from that spell. I'm not throwing shade on people who still celebrate the holidays if that's what you want to do, but you really need to look up the holiday and you really need to understand where it came from and what it actually represents. Like a lot of people still celebrate Valentine's Day. Do you know how many people were slaughtered on that specific day that you're supposed to get a box of candy and roses from your loved one from? I'm just telling you, when you know, you know. And I look at people sideways. I do, because I'm like, boy, I thought you were smarter than that. And it just tells me that you're not. I'm just saying. I'm not, I mean, if you know, you know, right? I mean, not everybody's going to agree with me. I mean, a lot of people will look at my video and go, what the hell is this helpful talking about? But, you know, if you know, and I mean, I tend to deal with people who think along my level, because it is really sad that we're coming into this new age, quote unquote, and we're in Aquarius, right? My thing is by now people should realize there's something really wrong with today's world. And it's not just about Trump. It's not just about the Republicans and the Democrats. Once you understand that what or who is running this realm, then you start to peel back the layers like an onion and you understand what's transpired. We've had a lot of great civilizations that have been destroyed, and most people don't even know about them because they're not taught in the public. They're not taught in the public or general education system. So unless you start to go research and start doing your own and looking at things and deep diving into topics, you won't ever discover that stuff. You just won't. I don't care if you've got a bachelor's. I don't care if you got a master's. I don't care if you've got a doctorate. You're only indoctrinated into your field based on what you chose to study. They're not going to teach you everything you need to know. You need to go find it for yourself, right? All right, so back to this, because I want to finish this up. We have some reading to do. So it says, the switch of pyro with daro, the great house, is evidenced additionally with the root of the deer, indicated the month of March, represented as Aries, the ram, symbolic of Hyksos. Changes to the initial spelling daro, which is D-A-R hyphen O, aligns to the month of Adir, A-D-A-R, a leap year. Okay. It's a leap year and a leap month, and is consistent with the festival's veneration of multiplicity. Incidentally, the communal name of Hyksos is extracted from the Greek phylogeny or Oikios, which they have a yogurt named that. O-I-K-O-S. Is a dwelling from Iko. To dwell is a literal translation of the name Pharaoh, or Arabic dar, a house. So those are breakdowns of those words and what they mean, right? The Hebrew word pyro in English is derived from the Akkadian corruption Peor, P-E-O-R, which is serpent, all right? Preserved in the Persian edenym pyri, disclosing the serpent race, okay? Relative in Arabic to Tabani, T-A-B-A-N-I, or Theban, T-H-E-B-A-N, the Theban priesthood, the serpent priesthood, the brotherhood of the snake. See, there's a lot of secret societies, and you got to understand what they represent. So it says, or Taban, T-A-B-A-N, which is snake or serpent. All right, I'm going to tell you. Pyri is rendered in the Latin root pyrus, or unmixed or pure. Depictions of the serpent's progeny are represented with far, or a halo. Observed in Egypt is a disc. All right, so you see these different symbolisms. I'm going to show you some pictures. Conjoined by the snake as variations of pyr or pyro originate from Sanskrit root pala, a king, prince, guard, protector of the earth. Okay. What these reptilians think they are. All right. The stem, or pala, is appraised in Latin from the root pyrate, to defend or consign to the reptile king or angels. So when we talk about these fallen angels that came down, like in the book of Enoch where I read to you, what do you think these angels are? What do you think they look like? Like, people want to draw them with wings and being sexy with long hair and, abs and locks and, olive skin, like, you would be like if you were Mexican or if you're Puerto Rican, you have all different types. You have tall with muscles. I'm just telling you, they took on human forms in order to appeal to the women that they snatched up the day of the wedding. I'll tell you that. And you think that these mothers and fathers would have allowed their daughters to be wed to something ugly? I'm just gonna tell you, they have a way to shapeshift. As a matter of fact, I shared a video, I think yesterday, of Woodward TV talking about Jaquan. Jaquan, come on now, that's a melanated name if I ever heard of one. Serpent raised snake. Jaquan was the one who taught the other watchers how to shapeshift and look beautiful, 6-7 feet tall. These mugs were. I'm just telling you, they took on the forms to take these women. All right. I'm just going to tell you, they were serpents. Excuse me. Literally, they were serpents. And when they transformed back into their natural form, I'm sure they scared these women. I'm sure they did. I'm just telling you. I mean, they had to unveil these things to these women because they taught us how to wear makeup, how to mix herbs, how the cutting of roots and charms and tinctures. I mean, where do you think you get pharmacia from? Where do you really think we get the medicine from? The word pharmacy. What do you think that represents? That was them that taught us this shit. So when you're going to the doctor's office and you're taking a pill, you get a prescription, you're going to get your little blood pressure medicine, your little cholesterol medicine. Who do you think taught these people how to do this mixture? Because everything that you've got as far as a synthetic form of a pill came from a plant, came from a medicine. Who do you think taught us that? We didn't just learn that. It didn't come out of thin air. So, you want to say, oh, that's not true. The reptilians don't exist. All right. Keep being stuck on stupid. That's why I'm sharing. People who want to know certain things to just listen because you'll learn a lot. I'm telling you, you'll learn a lot. Now, I'm trying to drop knowledge. I'm dropping receipts here. So when you're going into the pharmacy, that's tied back to sorcery. Oh my God. I just need to do one video and just break down common words so people understand what they actually mean. As I'm telling you, everybody's under a spell. And you know what? Some people may want to stay stuck on stupid and they may want to still drink the Kool-Aid and believe in what they see and believe in all the stuff. But I'm telling you, anytime you go externally and you're focusing or casting your intent outside yourself, you are in the perversion and you're living in this paradigm in the matrix. And you are participating in the Antichrist or the beast system. That's because you're not going within inside. You're not going within yourself. So anything you do externally is directly tied to the beast system. Hey, I can't tell who's joining. It's directly tied to the beast system. And it is what it is. And I would love for somebody to say that it's not, but it is. So, like I said, with pharmacy, tinctures and mixtures and herbs and cutting of roots and charms and plants, that all came back from the fallen angels. So when you go in there and you pop a Tylenol because you got a headache, or you take something from your menstrual cramps every month, that's the watchers, baby. They're the ones who taught us how to do that. Just going to tell you. So let's get back to this root word. So like I said at the very end, it means the reptile king or angel or serpent. All right. So we got some serpents walking around here. Y'all got to know that. So it says Pharaoh's seal worn on his headdress, that big old headdress that you see, records the pierre or snake, and an intentional pun signifying the royal house of Thebes registered with the cobra or thesbin. Symbolically, the cobra is written also as Naji, Najja, explicit of a savior, Egyptian Arabic Naga, Nagga, and it's dueled with the Smitter Naga, bloodlines of the savior or Naga, emphasizes Venus, Hebrew Noge, deduced from the Sanskrit noun Naga or serpent, Naga. And where do you think the root word Negro comes from? Do I need to do a video on that? Shout out to Chief Red Wolf. I'm telling you. Oh, that pertains to this book over here on necromancy. Necromancy. Spiritual. I'm telling you. I just find it fascinating. They done pulled the cover over everybody's eyes. Man, people just don't know. I just get so geeky because it's like insane. When you know, you really freaking know. Anyway, Naga pertains to a serpent. So people say, my nigga, Nigga, Naga, nigga. I'm just, All right, let me keep going. Automatically, the metamorphosis of the angel, or Arabic dar, expresses sunlight, which is DAU, okay, assigned to the reptile, and death, literally dare to damage or to harm. The setting disc combines the western serpent with the solar fish, aligned to the flash euphoric of the dragon's transformation. All right. To reiterate the point, the Semitic conjunim hadir, denoting a presence, is read in Hebrew as a compound hadder, hadder, H-A, then it's hyphen D-A-R. Okay. The changer. Like I said, y'all remember that name, Jaquan. You can't make this up. He came down as a tall, locked black man. I'm saying black this video because some of y'all still on that black shit. But I'm telling you, Jaquan was probably sexy as a mug. But he was a shapeshifter, a changer, a changeling. Well, he wasn't a changeling. He was a changer because he taught everybody how to change and look so. I'm just trying to tell you, I'm telling you, some of you women out there have slept with reptilians. You didn't even know there was a reptile. I'm just going to try to tell you, the real sexy ones you see on TV, what do you think they are? You know, half the people in Hollywood are reptilian. I'm going to tell you. I mean, they're gorgeous looking people, you know, on camera and in person. But when you get to learn how their ways are and let their eyes go in like that, you know, you're dealing with a reptilian. They start hissing at you. They can't say the word kinnininin. They can't say that. I'll tell you, that's that word you need to check when you go on a date and see if a girl can say that, or if a dude can say that word. If they can't say it, then you know they're reptilian because they struggle with it. They'll tell you. I find it fascinating. All right, let's get back to this last part. So, all right, so it says we talked about the changer, and what do we learn in class today? Jaquan. They changed their names, by the way. With every reset and with every civilization and the text, they always go back and rewrite shit. They got to change shit. They got to write themselves in and stuff. And I'm telling you, the newest race that was created, and I'm not offending my light-skinned brothers and sisters, quote unquote white, because I got a lot of white people in my family. Hell, I wouldn't be here right now because my mother's father. I'm just saying, my granddaddy. But you got to know that the majority of the quote unquote white race was not created until like the 16th century, 6th century, which is the 1600s. I'm telling you, they added 1,000 years, but you know, we as melanated women possess that Eve gene, so we can make all the races, right? I can make all the races with another person, right? So I'm just telling you, that's a fact. That's no conspiracy theory. You need to go research that. But the majority of the light-skinned folks didn't come into existence until after the last reset, which is around the time of Tartary, the fall of Tartary. Fall of Tartary was mostly melanated people. I mean, there were some light-skinned people here, but not on the magnitude that we have today, right? You weren't here. And that's okay. That's fine. And like I said before in many of my videos, some of you so-called quote unquote white people are actually, you got Negro in you, and you just ignoring that shit. You ain't done your genealogy. You ain't done your family tree. Like I told you, I'm still working on mine. And I mean, I've done 2 out of the 4 sets, and I still got to go back even further. But when you get to that time frame of the fall of Tartary, that's where they start to try to hide stuff. And like now, because the government shutdown is down, what are they changing, and what records are they erasing right now? Because you know the reptilians are doing some shit. Like, oh, these Negroes waking up. We can't let them find out they're the original people of this land. I mean, Library of Congress is shut down. I'm just telling you. So, you know, people trying to do their genealogy and do stuff and go in and look at records. I mean, there's nobody there to help you. The building's shut down. So, I mean, what are they really doing here? I'm just telling you. Jaquan, the changer. If y'all remember nothing else I say, remember Jaquan's ass, all right? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm in a clown today. I had my procedure yesterday. I came out of surgery. No problem. I'm good. I go back to work tomorrow. And I'm just at the top of the morning to y'all. I'm just like, I'm being in rare form today. You know what? I need to go over and read what he looked like so y'all ladies can get that picture in your mind. I'll tell you. Like I said, some of you men and some of you women have slept with some reptilians and you didn't even know. Until it was too late. And I'm going to tell you what, Chief Red Wolf is right. You could smell them. I ain't gonna say too much more because they reading my face and scanning me. You can smell them. They have an aroma to them, as do all people. You can smell them pheromones. They know how to change all that shit. The changer, Jaquan. Oh, man. All right. So this last part, I'm going to read this one more time. The compound Hadar, Hadar, is the changer. That's what it means. Cognate with Hardun, a lizard. Its materialization is consistent in Arabic with ad, to bite, comparative of ada, to give, or prosthetic to, of the rights of Adir. Okay. Hadir, which is a presence, links the month of Adir, Adar, with the flock or Eder, an emblem of laity. In Latin, the analogy is Grex, Grex, which means a flock, also denoting a group or a crowd, prototypical to the congregation. See where they get these words from? The flock, the congregation. Manifestation of the angel's form, Hadir, connotes the giving of the sacrificial offering of Ada, or demonstrated in the related syntax. Okay. For example, Had, Hadd, or sharp, is phonetically diminutive of Hadir, or presence, and inimical of the Adir, or flock. Similar comparisons as evidence with the English nouns are sharp, shape, sheep. In Arabic, Hadir, Hadar, is related to the noun Kadir, Kadar, or trouble, bracketed with hadid, to menace or to threaten, actions uninformed with hadid, the locksmith. Okay. He is iconic of the key holder, the keeper of the kingdom. The keeper of the kingdom, Hadid, Haddad, Haddad. He is iconic of the key holder, the keeper of the kingdom. I'm going to highlight that. Hold, please. Let me highlight that. I'm going to test y'all. What was that angel's name who did the shape shifting and taught everybody else how to do it? Ladies, Jaquan. Jaquan, baby. That was his name. All right. That was not Azazel. Azazel's a whole nother entity. Just going to tell you. And Lucifer and Satan or Satan, two different meanings, two different beings. I'm just going to tell you. Jaquan, I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to ask you again. So it says, here's the interesting part. The key holder, the keeper of the kingdom, signified as Peter, Peter, a guardian or protectorate of the synod. Biblically, Peter, which is the rock, and in parentheses, holds the key to heaven and is a precursor or foundation of the early church. Okay, did y'all know that? I did. The Egyptian word Hadid, Haddad, which is in parentheses locksmith, is converted into the Hellenistic symbolism. The Greek concept or hados or way, puns with eidos or form, extracted from the Semitic edenym heder, presence or shape, and had, which is sharp. These definitions classify the assembly, the Greek hodos or guide, Arabic hadda, centurial of the flock or altar, sacerdotal of the flock or altar. The guide hodos is culinary with the sondios or son hodos, a meeting in English synod. Okay. Hodos refers cryptically to the children of Exodus, the ex hodos, literally to guide out. Okay. Children of Exodus means exodos is literally to guide out. A denomination instated internally within the priestcraft. Philologically, hodos is recurrent with the kudos or glory, okay, explicit of a materialization form of hadir, okay, or set free or unlocked, originally the angel of death. The definition hadid is a synonym of hadir, a presence, evocation of the celebration of Adir. Okay. Appearance of the hadir pertains to the Greek etymon or etios form or a phantom. The wordplay nadid and hadir is apparent also in the English alliteration lock and look, implicit of the watcher or dragon. Okay. When they came down for the wedding, which I've read to you multiple times over here, all right, they were looking and watching and waiting and picking out the females they wanted, the big booty females they wanted. Just gonna tell you. Yeah, they did that. What was his name, ladies? Jaquan. I'm trying to tell you. Oh my God. I cracked myself up. Oh God, I got it. Well, you know. I just can't. I can't. All right, let's finish this part up. So, the key holder is a guardian of secrets. The key holder is the guardian of secrets associated with the angelic transformation, transfiguration equated with heaven. Let me highlight that. The key holder is the guardian of secrets. All right. And it says the wordplay hadi and heder is apparent into the English alliteration and lock and look implicit of the watch or dragon. Materialization of the edelon is the etymologically deduced from the Egyptian Arabic noun hardun, Hardun, which means lizard. All right. Consistent in Old Semitic with hader, a changer. So you're talking about these watchers, these lizards, these reptilians, the brotherhood of the snake, the changers, the button pushers, the ones who watch and who know and who walk among us. I'm just telling you. Oh, it's a real thing, baby. If you don't believe in them, they sure do believe in you. So it says, who created with heaven. So it says the key holder is a guardian of secrets associated with the angelic transfiguration equated with heaven. The Catholic tradition lists Peter as the key holder and is described as the rock of the church. The Catholic tradition lists Peter as the key holder and is described as the rock of the church. The pun rock and lock is conveyed in the Arabic play as sakur and sak, evident in the Latin lexicon Sacre or sacred. Relationship between the key and the kingdom is demonstrated in Muslim lore. Okay, I have the Quran over here, back over here on the shelf. All right. In Islam, the key holder is Mahdi. Mahdi, Mahdi. I hope I said that right for all my Islamic folks. A spiritual and temporal leader sent by a divine commander or prepare society for the end of earthly time, instituted through a just government. For the Shiites, the title refers to the 12th Imam, or Imam, I-N-A-M. Mahdi's lineage notes Mahd, a cradle correlated with Yeshua, and Moses identified with Madad, a mason, symbol of the basket or manger, distinguishes the king, a serpent, or an angel. Mahad's cognomen esoterically suggests Medhi, a Medha, a human votive allied with Mada, a Persian priesthood. The Mada is rendered variously as the Martu or Unum or Amon or Emet or Haikos. Arabic scholars trace the root of Mahad to the past participial of Hada, to guide, tangent with Hadar, a presence, or Haddar, a shape shifter. Haddar, H-A, then hyphen D-A-R, a shape shifter. All right, a changer, a watcher, a serpent. The qualification of the key holder, Hadad. Placement of the key holder is one who threatens. Hadad from the compound had and ad, literally sharp again, repetitious of the sacrificial decree. Appearance of the Mahad or Hada in Judaic lore marks Yom Hadin, the day of judgment, associated with the angel or lizard, Hardun, H-A-R-D-U-N. In conclusion, the serpent's concealed form represents a ram. Okay. So when you see the sign of Aries, could it be that that was the time of the start of the zodiacal clock in the house when they set this plane of existence up? All right, I'm just going to say a dual signifier of the reptilian and man. Okay, when you see that. Again, in conclusion, the serpent's concealed form represents a ram. So when you see the ram, all right, it's a dual signifier of the reptilian and man. Demise of the ram is identical in the Egyptian mysteries to the deity Amun, which is hidden, conjugal with the risen snake Atum. Depictions of the horned deity implicate intimidation and regal sadism, faceted with the salvation or heaven. The theological dualism record, the angelic host Venus conjugate with Mars, equated with the death of the spring lamb or man. Okay. Disagreement between the protagonist Venus, which is in quote an angel, and Mars, which is a man, cumulated in the flood or Atlantis. All right. Described in the book of Genesis, which we're going to read in a second from the alien world order, because I'm going to read that part. All right. All right. It says the flood of Atlantis, described in the book of Genesis, exfoliation of Adam from the paradise by the host, is consigned to the month of Adar. See, we don't even have Adar on the calendar. They've switched things up. I'm telling you. Sorry. My allergies are really killing me. I slept off my anesthesia, and I noticed, and I got a lot of drainage and stuff now, but it's because the weather's changing here in Houston. Like a cold front's coming in. It's going to rain this afternoon. So a lot of the dust is going to settle, and then they're going to be crap in the rain. So, it's coming in. So I apologize for that. So anyway, it says the month of Adar reconsonant with the flock or Eder or sacrifice. Observance of the festival of Adar promulgates the sacred law sanctioned through killing of the lamb, covertly a firstborn child allowed biblically to the Exodus. Payment of the lamb's blood is exchanged in lieu of man's sin, conjugate with the atonement. The hierarchical Adam's redemption corresponds with the surrender or slem, S-L-M, of man and the destruction of Mars. A day of infamy. It recalls the ceremonial passage of Adar and the death of the flock or Eder. And that's the end of that. So I hope you guys learned something from that. Again, we're talking about these reptilians shape-shifting and their change. So we read chapter 22, and that was called the Adar lamb and the key holder. And one takeaway you can get from that is what, ladies? What, men? Beautiful, sexy, big booty girls, beautiful, tall, muscle-bound men. What's his name? The shapeshifter of all shapeshifters, the mother one, the one who taught them how to shapeshift properly, Jaquan. I'm going to tell you. All right, let's get into the Sumerian serpent gods, chapter 8. All right, that's where we left off at. Let me see. And I know when I read to you last, we talked about the four senior, well, we haven't read the four senior gods. So let me just read this. So it says the Sumerians and Akkadians did not call their alien visitor gods. It is in later cultures that the notion of the divine beings filtered into our language and thinking. They were called the lofty ones, all right? In the sense of those who occupied the heavens, okay? And they came down. They came from beyond the ice walls, however you want to see it. They were called the lofty ones in sense of those who occupied the heavens. The Western word God has through usage come to mean superior spiritual beings far removed from mankind and incapable of defect or error. Man is considered to be a blemished, incomplete being. That's that reptilian bullshit. See, got dodged the hijack. Man is considered to be a blemished, incomplete being, burdened with original sin, and destined to worship and pay homage to the unreachable God. We all have a worship gene. Did y'all know that? We have a worship gene. You can turn that shit off. They can turn it on too. But I'm telling you, everybody wants to fall down and worship this external thing. They programmed us like that. They changed our avatars. I'm telling you, they did a lot of stuff during this last reset. For those of us who were born after the reset. I'm telling you. I find it fascinating. Shout out to my reptilian overlords. I'm just trying to tell you. They ain't over shit. I don't give them any divine right over my body and over my mind, over my spirit. I am a sentient divine being. All right. I stand alone. I don't follow any individual. I know that the creator of all lives within me. The kingdom of heaven is within me. I am a God and God is within me. And that's just point blank simple. And when you know it. I ain't trying to convince you of nothing. So it says, man is considered to be a blemished, incomplete being, burdened with original sin, destined to worship and pay homage to an unreachable God. The Sumerian gods, on the other hand, were far from spiritual. They were real, live, physical, capable beings, capable of serious errors and misjudgments. Okay? They could be called Supermen if the term could be genetically applied to a Syrian, Syrian, Saurian race, which means serpent race. The Sumerian gods regarded man as a convenience and nothing more. He supplied their wants, kept their cities, and provided cannon fodder for their various military ventures. If you want to go along with that narrative, I'm just saying, when you know, you know. Cannon fodder we are. And we cannon fodder to this day with this government shutdown. Now, I'm going to tell you, that shit going to go well beyond the first of the year. That shit ain't going to reopen anytime soon. This is going to be one of the, they're ushering in this one world reset, this new world order, and the digital ID. That's why they're doing this stuff. They're pushing this shit so they can get their narrative through. My thing is, has anybody read the laws and the bills that they're trying to pass? Are they even out there online? Because if I go out there and go research this shit and see what they're trying to pass, I'm gonna be the one to go print out 1,000 pages and tell you what these bills consist of. Because it's not just, for say on record, 10 bills they want to pass. They're gonna, at the end of the day, it could be 10 bills that they really introduce, but it's actually probably 150 statutes that they come in with. I'm just gonna tell you, when you know, you know. It's all a game. It's all a twist. The Sumerian gods regarded man as a convenience and nothing more. He supplied their wants, kept their cities, and provided cannon fodder for their various military ventures. Let me highlight that, because they consider us to be cannon fodder. We're useless eaters. The gods were cruel and unsympathetic masters. They considered humans as merely unruly children, no more important than pets, to be governed ruthlessly and without sentiment. At one time, man was regarded as a source of food. Man was regarded as a source of food, and in no different from the cattle and sheep that be raised. And I'm telling you, what do you think they're doing to all the children right now? We read that. What do you think they're doing with all these missing people? What do you think? Where do you think their bodies are going? They're grinding them up and they're putting them back in the food. When you go out to these restaurants and you eat at McDonald's and Chick-fil-A and Burger Def and Taco Hill and White Casket, what do you think you're eating? I'm just telling you. You can believe or not. Believe is a lack of knowledge and knowing. You can go do your research and find out. Do I need to do that presentation again about the how many Beyond Meat processing plants, how they're centralized station, and how many abortion clinics are nearby? Do I need to do that again? Do I need to pull up the map and show you? I did that like 6 years ago. I'm just telling you. These accusations, these accusations may seem like hyperbole to the reader, but we shall see by subsequent events that this is indeed correct. It should be remembered that the Sumerian word lu, L-U, was used for sheep as well as man. And that's what they call alula. Lulu. Yeah. Which is supposed to be in terms of endearment, but it's not. It's a sheep, because we're sheeple. And that's a man. And it seems that this term was used gastronomically as well. When the serpent gods arrived here to establish a colony on Earth, they were ruled by 4 senior gods. All right, count them up. These were An, the great patriarch who rarely came down to Earth and stayed in the background, and his 3 children. An, okay? The Anunnaki, the children of An. All right? Of these, Enlil was the leader of the expedition and the chief of all activities of the Atuna on Earth. Okay, Anuna on Earth. Sorry, activities of the Anuna on Earth. All right. So Enlil, An, Enki, his brother, was a chief engineer who supervised all the construction, mining, and technical activities of the Anuna, including the genetic engineering. The 4th senior god is Ninhursag, the great nurse and medical director. Okay. She's also sent to be a depiction of Mary, the mother of Christ Yeshua. All right. Ninhursag. And she's also considered to be Isis. All right. The great nurse and medical officer director. There were many children and grandchildren of Enlil and Enki, but only a few of these junior gods are important to our story. After the deluge, the children and the grandchildren of Enlil were assigned the lands of the Middle East. The eldest son, Nanar, Sin in Semitic, that's what sin means. Nanar means sin. All right, was given Mesopotamia and the western lands extending all the way to the Mediterranean, except the Lebanon, which was located in Baalbek. Okay, and that spaceport and launch facility was assigned to Utu, which is Shamash, the son of Nanar. Okay, all right. So let me get a different color because I want to highlight that because we may come back and I may do a pop quiz at the end. I'm just saying, who's paying attention? So we got Nanar, all right, eldest son, and then we got Utu or Shamash, all right. Another son of Enlil was Ishkar, or Adad, who was given Anatolia, better known as biblically as the land of the Hittites. Okay, all right. And we will show that he was the Yahweh or Jehovah of the Old Testament. Ninar had a daughter, sister of Utu, called Inanna or Ishtar, who had assigned territory because of her sex, and as a result plotted continuously to acquire power. Okay, Inanna. So let's go over it. So we've got Utu, Ishkar. Okay, so we got Ishtar, Hadid, Shamash, and then we got Sin. And I'm going to sneeze. Oh my God, this is killing me. Bear with me, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm having these allergies right now. You can hear my voice, right? Another son called Ninurta is the prime importance to our story. All right. There's another one, Ninurta. Okay, as a son. Okay. He was assigned the land of Elam, east of Mesopotamia, but somehow was left out of the many of the decisions of the pantheon. As Enlil's chief of staff, he was the challenger chosen by the pantheon to battle and defeat the evil god Zu. The Sumerian gods were always depicted graphically with a multiple horn headdress or crown. All right. So when you see these depictions on the walls and the pyramids, and you see these beings sitting down, and you see us humans bowing down to them, that's what you're seeing. All right. You're seeing these gods. All right. The Sumerian gods were always depicted geographically with multi-horn headdress or crown. Horns were a divine attribute, and the depiction of a horned headdress was strictly restricted to the gods, although in the latter years, certain more ambitious kings had themselves portrayed this way. The four senior gods are represented as horned altar. Okay. And I would often state that it's not a headdress they were wearing, it's how they looked as reptilians. Because if you look at some of the reptilian races, and I may post a post with some pictures, you can see some of them do have the horns. I mean, they follow them. And I mean, I'm just telling you, when you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. When you know, you know. So when you're looking at these depictions, you got to understand what race of reptilian they're coming from. All right. Because there's different classes and different ranks. All right. If that makes sense. So a Babylonian boundary stone of the Keset dynasty of about the 15th century BC, now in Louvre museums, depicts the pantheon of Babylon in the time, and it says figure 20 over here. This is a depiction of the gods right here. All right. Then it says, the first register depicts the four senior gods, the horn crown of Od and Enlil, and the altar with the ram's head, and the goat fish depicts Enki, and the altar with the umbilical cord and the knife to sever it, the symbol of the great nurse Nimhertzag. Okay. She's the first reptilian to carry this genetically spliced human, if you want to say it. All right. And so she gave birth to the perfect human, which was more reptilian-like. And then, you know, like if you see some of us have a skin condition, like I have eczema. So if it gets to a point to where it gets really bad, it starts to scale up and it looks like I got reptilian skin. I'm just going to tell you, it's a thing. It's a real thing. Whether you know it or not, we have a reptilian brain. I mean, the human anatomy. So be that as it may, when you know, you know. So it says by the 12th century, the pantheon of Babylon had changed as shown by the boundary stone erected by Nebuchadnezzar, none other than who? Gilgamesh incarnated. I'm going to tell you. Now in the British Museum, that's what some say. All right. I'm not going to say as fact. I'm just saying that's what I read. At this time, Nimherzad had been demoted and is not with the big three. She is found not on the first register with An and Enlil and Enki, but on the second register after the local gods Marduk and Nabu. Marduk is the son of Enki, and some would say he's the ruler over this realm or this plane of existence. And would he dare to venture to say that he's the one that's in the underground city in Agartha that's going to come up and rise again, and the gods, men, and beasts? We'll be reading some things from that. Shout out to Fabrice Must Know. So let's keep reading. When written in cuneiform, the god's name was always preceded by the digir or sign or symbol for the godhood. Okay. So they have symbols. All these beings have sigils to spell their names out. If you know, you know. And they actually have symbols too. So when you see certain things on TV and labels and logos, there's a meaning behind that. And the secret order of societies know that. And they put it right in front of our faces because we're so blind. We're sheeple. We're sheep. We're our Lulu. We're the Lu. Okay. So it says, written as a cuneiform, the god's name was always preceded by their dingir or sign or symbol for godhood. Originally written in the pictograph style as the star, the Sumerian word for God became formalized in the cuneiform as a symbol, which not only represented the name An, its chief god, but also was used to mean heaven or heaven. The dingir symbol was transferred into Akkadian Semitic to mean God and was synonymous with Alu or El. And he did a shout out to Fabrice. He did a video today over the L, and I'm gonna have to go check that out in a minute and take some notes and stuff like that. And incidentally, just for whoever sees this video, when I tell you I take notes to you guys, look, here's a notebook. It's a fresh one. So I will sit down and be taking notes, and this one's going to be utilized. I have about 6 or 7 notebooks over here that I have for each person that I take notes from, like Kimura, Chief Red Wolf, Original Lone Wolf, Drop 432, Navi Poet, 7 grams. You even got a notebook. I'm just telling you. When I crochet and I'm listening, I'll be writing notes down. Then what I'm going to do is start putting your name on the front so I know. Because sometimes I'll be looking and grab the wrong notebook. I'm thinking, oh, crap, that's Kimura's notebook. No, let me go back and get Chief Red Wolf's notebook. I'm just saying, I do that. I'm a nerd. Let me shut up. I'm a nerd. Sometimes, in addition to the dingir sign, the name of the Sumerian god was preceded by descriptive terms such as Umshagal in all uppercase, which is Akkadian of the great fiery flying serpent. Each god had an animal or symbol sacred to him or her. These can be seen clearly on the boundary stones used by the Babylonian dynasties of the 2nd millennium BC. The 4 senior gods, the old senior god and patriarch An, is not important to our story since he appears to have stayed in the background and did not get directly involved with the activities on Earth in this dome. So beyond the ice walls, he is there. All right. You got to remember, these reptilian guys live thousands of years, y'all. I mean, thousands of years. And up until they tamper with our number 2 chromosome, with shortening our telomeres and adding an admixture, we lived a long time too. So now they've changed it to 120 years because they tinkered with our DNA. But we have the capability to live much longer. I'm just going to tell you. So us dying at 50 and 60 and 70 years old, we're babies still. I'm telling you, even at 100 years, we're still babies. But our bodies are aging because of what they did. It is possible that he died and returned to his native planet. I'm talking about An. An, or Anu in Akkadian, was the great progenitor and senior god. He stood above all the other gods. His abode and seat of authority was in the heavens. The orbiting spaceship, or Unsaga Anana, Ur Sagana Anana, I hope I said that right, literally the chief city of the heavens. According to the stories of the ancient Mesopotamia, he did not get involved directly in the operations of the Brood on Earth, except to settle the many disputes between his sons, Enki and Enlil, the reptilian shapeshifter. What's his name, ladies? Who taught them how to shapeshift? Jaquan. I think it's so funny. Oh my God, when you know, you know. All right. All right, I might do a video over the Watchers. I might just read off all 200 of them, and we're going to talk about certain ones and what they may look like and the depictions that I found. I'm going to tell you, it's fascinating to me. It's fascinating. The reptilian guides. I'm telling you, y'all done smashed some reptilians, and y'all didn't know until y'all effed around and found out. You haven't babied by these reptilians. You ain't having no human baby. I'm just going to tell you, you birthing a demigod. And like Chief River said, he was here to make some gods. So, Chief, I ain't gonna say it. You know what I'm thinking, right? Look at me on camera. You know what I was thinking, right? Let me shut up and keep reading. Let me shut up. According to the studies of ancient Mesopotamia, y'all know I'm crazy, right? He did not get involved directly. Ooh, okay. He did not get involved directly in the operations of his abode on Earth, except to settle the many disputes between the sons of Enki and Enlil. I think I'm gonna stop right there because I don't know how long I've been on here. I think I've been on here an hour maybe. And so when I come back, we're gonna pick up. Let me flag this in purple. We're gonna pick up with some more of the reptilian guides, and I may get into. I know I want to read chapter 7, Genesis, because it talks about what they did in the very beginning. It's this chapter right here. And it goes in again with the reptilians. And I want to cross-reference that with this book that I'm reading now, The Flying Serpents and Dragons, because all of this ties into factor and all plays a part. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you got a good laugh out of my reading today. We read over The Flying Serpents and Dragons, and we also read over The Murder of Reality, chapter 21, Adair the Key Holder. Okay. And then we were reading chapter 4. We're talking about the serpent gods, and chapter 8, the Sumerian serpent gods. We're on chapter 8. So when I come back, we'll pick up chapter 8, and then we're going to get into chapter 7 over here, Genesis. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon, and thank you so much, ladies. Y'all know y'all need to watch out for that Jaquan shapeshifter. I mean, he might look great. He might be 6'7", 6'8", but is he really human? I'm just gonna say it. And then guys, hey, there were female reptilians out there, so don't get it twisted. They shapeshift. I'm telling you, it's a real thing. So if you know, you know. Anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing day. And remember what I always say: be the change you want to see all around this earth dome, because it's up to you and I to make a positive change. I hope you guys have an amazing afternoon, and I hope you got something out of it. And I hope you got to laugh too, right? Because you got to laugh at this stuff. You really do. Because when you know and you see what they've done and what they're doing, you just can't help but shake your head and go, what the freak? Anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.